what are some of the benefits of PSX, which is policy and routing, for enterprises?
Yeah, so PSX is a centralized routing and policy engine, as you correctly pointed out. And this brings value for enterprises who wants to have complex routings, want to centralize the routing. So what's the benefit of centralizing the routing? Now, there are multiple network elements in the network where you want to have routing configured on each of those networks. Now, that is time consuming and that is error prone. Like now you have to change any routing, you have to go and touch each of your network elements to change the routing. Instead of that, how cool it would be if you can do it at one central location that impacts all the other network elements. So we have a very nice redundant architecture where we can centralize all the routing, but not be a bottleneck for the failure. So that's one of the key benefits which enterprises realize out of this. The other thing is there are few specific use cases where enterprises really like something like PSX, where it's a multi-country branches are there. There are certain employees in Japan, there are certain employees in US. They want to talk among each other. Now, when one branch is trying to talk to other branch, the call has to go through a PSTN service provider network, which costs a lot for these international calls. So what PSX can do, when one branch is trying to call other branch, we can bypass that toll and we can use private MPLS networks, for example, to route those calls. So they can save the enterprises can save the cost by not routing the call through regular PSTN service provider network. The other use case is business continuity. So now you have your different network elements for, say, session border controllers, which are deployed at multiple locations. And you know, okay, this particular kind of call, I want to route it through my session border controller in Boston. Right. But then the Boston SBC is down for some reason, taken out for maintenance, has outage, whatever. Now, PSX knows that if that particular SBC or the session border controller is down, it can route to something like maybe there is SBC in Cincinnati. Right. It will route it through Cincinnati. Okay. So there is constant business continuity with a centralized routing and policy engine. So your brain is at a central location and you don't need to rely on the edge locations whether they're down or not. The central brain will take care of everything. Okay. Now, we talked a lot about routing. Right. The other key thing is policy. So our enterprise customers, they define a lot of complex policies which is needed for securing the network. We know session border controllers secure the edge of the network, but then for the next level of security, you need the PSXs to have those policies. For example, there are certain services, like let's say making outgoing international calls. Right. You have certain segment of employees who are allowed to make those outgoing calls, yes. But then certain employees are not. How do you put a filter? You can provide access codes. So you can, if the access code is presented, the PSX analyzes that, and then only those employees are allowed to make outgoing calls. Other employees are not. So this kind of complex policies you can define in PSX so that you don't have to do it on your edge location, centralize it, right. And these complexities typically are not available on your SBCs or other network elements to do, which we offer as flexibility on PSX.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.